Welcome, everyone, to another edition of the Chariot Automotive Group podcast. This is our fifth edition here in 2022 as we continue to work to develop relationships and spread information about our auto group to three core constituencies, really our existing team members, our clients that want to learn more about how this automotive group thinks and the way it conducts its business, and also potential team members that are out there and considering maybe a change and looking for their future. So we just like to communicate each month of some of the things we're working on. And it's great to have you once again. This month, we're joined by the Chariot Automotive Group Career Development Director, Mark McLean, and we'll get to Mark in a moment. We're also joined by the General Sales Manager at the Twin City location in Lafayette, Harrison Brown. And also William Myers is joining us. William's a parts advisor at Button Motors in Kokomo. So gentlemen, welcome to each of you. And I appreciate you taking a few minutes to join us. And I'm going to lead off with Mark. And Mark, you and our founder and CEO, Rex Gingrich, started this program with a vision. And just kind of share with us maybe off the top your initial thought of what Chariot Automotive was looking to accomplish for its team members with a partnership with Ivy Tech.
Well, this goes actually back a couple of years ago because, we all know that Dave Lowe does an excellent job with training. And I participated in a couple of his training seminars, and we realized that we really had something cool here. And we actually went to Ivy Tech and we asked Ivy Tech to come out and to take a look at the curriculum that Dave was teaching to see if there was any opportunity for that to be developed into a program that Ivy Tech could offer, not just to us, but to potentially to other students that may be interested in sales as a career. And interestingly enough, Ivy Tech took a look at all of the material that Dave had, and they came back to us and said, hey, this is a class, this is a course. So we could actually give you, or anyone who's taken this is worth 3 credit hours. And if you're interested in working with us to build around what you already have, we could turn this into a certificate, a business sales certificate program. So we met with Dave, we met with representatives of Ivy Tech. We took a look at what Dave's program was, and what the other core courses would have to be in order to get there. And eventually we ended up with the program that we have right now, which is a business sales certificate, which when completed, will give the student 31 credited hours towards an associate's degree, which takes 60 credit hours to complete. So by taking this program, you're more than halfway towards your associate's degree with Ivy Tech Community College. And so that's kind of what got us started, was looking in-house first to see what we had and developing it into something that could be useful for all of the employees. And so with that, we started to work towards trying to get a cohort of students that would be interested in working towards their certificate and ultimately their associate's degree.
Mark, I want to take a minute before we let William and Harrison get into the conversations to also maybe just update folks a little bit about your background. You know the Kokomo area well, but maybe share a little with folks about your background prior to Chariot and why you have a passion to see people develop in their personal and professional lives.
So in my previous life, I worked in the HR department for Stellantis, FCA, Chrysler, whatever the name happened to have been, over the 46 years that I worked for Chrysler. And part of my responsibilities was, career development and succession planning. There's a really strong attribute within the Chrysler organization to develop and promote from within. And with having 8,000 employees in the Kokomo area, we spent a lot of time developing employees and creating succession pathways for employees to move either laterally for new opportunities, because the lateral move will eventually create that experience that you need for a promotional opportunity. Not everything is a promotion. Lots of times It's just moving somebody to a different area and developing their background, which creates the opportunity further down the road. So yeah, I spent a lot of time working with plant managers to develop future plant managers and production managers within the manufacturing organization.
Awesome. Well, Harrison, you're a guy with a military background. I know you in your years serving our country, you got trained in a number of areas there, and then you get into the car business and you work your way up and become a general sales manager at the Twin City location here with Chariot. But I think a lot about all the requirements you have, and we'll let William comment as well. But throughout the year, you're doing a lot of Stellantis training to stay up to date on all of the various products that we offer. But what made you attracted to this program to say, you know what, I'd like to continue my general business education, and getting this business sales certificate would be a way to do that? And what helped you decide that that's something you wanted to pursue?
The nice thing with this is that the training that was offered, you always want more. You just want to grasp more. And with this, it gave me the opportunity to grow, not only in the business, but as well as my whole entire career. So I was able to take this and move it to try to grow up the ladder, because that's eventually what all of us want to do. And it definitely helped with quite a bit of it as well.
And William, same with being a parts advisor. You help on the retail and wholesale side there at Button. Folks may not know this that haven't listened to our show before, but Button is really the largest store in the state in so many ways for Stellantis. And one of those areas where Button is such a major player in the state of Indiana is on the parts side of the business. And so you have a lot of ongoing training throughout the year too that you do to learn about Stellantis and the parts program. But what got you interested in saying, you know what, I think this would benefit me as I grow as a team member?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is what Harrison covered already. It's just I want to grow as an individual, as a person that can help the business get better and grow. And I think that's the key, is being able to further your education to be able to help the business that you work for grow as well.
Harrison, what kind of, on a day when you have things going on class-wise, I think for somebody that's in our organization that would potentially want to take part in this in the coming years, what's a day look like for you? How have you been able to fit this in?
What's nice is Chariot definitely believes in the training. So they give you the time while you're kind of starting your day to be able to do it at your work. You're getting settled in, you're kind of planning your day, but also at the same time, you're already going to school, you're handling all that. So really it's part of the time that you're already at work. They're helping you get through the day by having it within your normal 9 to 5.
And William, one of our corporate trainer, Dave Lowe's classes recently for the whole organization has been on time management. I would imagine that you've had to, think about that as you've gone through this process, and how am I going to lay my day out to get both things done?
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's definitely helped. His class did help with that, just because it does eat into about an hour to an hour and a half of my day. And usually the first 4 or 5 hours are probably the busiest that I have, with both receiving in parts and getting them out to the technicians at the beginning of the day so they can get their day started. So not only has it helped being a little early, but through the day, but just the parts department and the people that I work with have helped so much, because they kind of take on the responsibility of my job as well to help me out get through that first hour.
And Mark, that's, I'm sure, feedback you're getting is for somebody that would consider working through this as part of the entire program of how do I make it work? How can I possibly get both done? And maybe you could address with this first cohort of students, how that's working out.
Yeah, that was actually one of the key problems that we had to sort out when we started working with Ivy Tech, because when it comes to mature students, which I'm going to say, our employees are all mature students. They've all left school and have started a career, and generally they're set up for evening courses for their mature students. So it was a little bit different when we approached them and said we wanted to start this, but we wanted to do it during the day because we felt that would be the most attractive way to have our employees think about getting into the program. Sales, it's a long day. You're in the office till 6, 7 o'clock at night, and then to be thinking about going to a class at that time and spending another hour and a half and not getting out of class until 9 o'clock at night, we felt that that would be a real deterrent. And so we wanted to try something different. So we really put a lot of effort into trying to come up with morning classes that we could set the day and we could set the time and try to induce as many students as possible into the program. And it's been successful. I mean, we started out with an initial group. Just last month, we had 2 new students that joined the class. Shannon Dillman and Summer Braun just joined. And I mean, they had 2 reasons for joining. They had personal reasons. They wanted to accomplish this. They had not had the opportunity when they finished high school to go on to further education. And they wanted to do that and never had the opportunity to do that because it didn't fit their lifestyle. But the number one reason that they gave me when they got back into it was the fact that it was in the morning and it was wrapped around their workday, and they could fit it into their workday because their managers worked with them to make sure that it fit into their workday. And without it being during the workday, they would not have considered getting into the sales certificate program.
That's a good point. Harrison, give us something that you've learned so far from the program.
We just got done with law. There's a lot of contracts and things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis here. So it's definitely made me seeing into it a little bit more as far as to cover our company as well as ourselves, handling employees, things like that, to make sure that, you know, the company's not at risk.
And for you, William, what's a takeaway you have from business class so far?
One of the biggest takeaways I've had is definitely the customer service part of the class. I mean, I always felt that I had a decent grasp on customer service, but it's given me a new way to be able to show appreciation to our customers rather than just doing my job.
And Harrison, if a team member's watching this and didn't sign up the first time, but would like to at the next enrollment period, what would be your suggestion to them of what it'll be like and what they need to consider?
Well, definitely sign up. The thing to consider is, you know, it's during your business hours, so you're not really missing much regarding your work schedule. I mean, as long as you're very time oriented, you can enroll, get signed up, and then carry on with your day. I mean, it's almost like you're just starting your day with David Lowe.
And what would you agree with that, William, that it's been able to flow in even maybe better than you thought as it's gone along?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, just the class period itself is nice, but also the workload isn't too much during the night. I mean, I have 2 kids and I'm able to get all the homework done and all the possible tests or quizzes done without interfering with the time with my kids.
That's awesome. And Mark, as you and Ivy Tech look at it, is there a thought going forward that there might be more opportunities for Chariot team members to continue to grow, or some further program development?
Well, we've only been into this not quite a year yet. Yeah, our plan is to continue to mature this and ultimately be able to offer the full associate's degree or even a bachelor's degree for our employees to keep building on this. The one nice feature about this is the majority of the classes are standalone classes. So if you haven't been in the program yet, you might be thinking, well, it's too late, I might have missed the boat. But that's not true. Like Shannon and Summer did just this semester, they were able to get into the class. And even though there are a few classes behind that they'll have to make up at a later date, they were still able to get in, and they'll be able to follow this continuum as we go forward, and still ultimately get their sales certificate program.
Harrison, what are the mechanics of the class like? Do you log in? How does it work?
That's all online. So it's a Zoom call. You sign up, you sign in around 8 o'clock, and then we start class. Usually it's a lecture for the first hour and then a little bit of work time at the end. Sometimes it's just a work day all throughout. And if you have the questions, you just ask the teacher that's right there with you.
Cool. Have you seen, William, maybe a time or two or something you've already picked up in class you've been able to apply into your day there in the parts department at Button?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a lot that I take away from this class that I'm able to put into it, but just the business side of it has really helped me grasp more of what the parts department and the sales that goes into the way we pay for everything. I think that's really helped me grasp more what goes into a business.
I think, Mark, that our founder and CEO, Rex Gingrich, would be very pleased with William's last comment, because I think a lot of what Rex is about is helping all of our team members understand those basic business principles and why the organization does the things it does to protect both the clients, the business, and our manufacturer partners.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I think it was one of the previous classes on ethics. Have we had that one yet?
Yes.
Yeah, I got a feedback from a couple of the students when they were taking that class. The whole concept of ethics and business ethics and applying business ethics to your work. And people don't realize it, but there's a lot to that. And I mean, that just doesn't help the individual, but it helps everyone.
Now, that's fantastic. It really is neat to see it, because that's a perfect world, isn't it, fellas, where you can take that and apply it right away to the business dealings that we have each day. And particularly, Harrison, on the contract side, it's such a ever-changing world. Folks see that have bought a car, bank contracts, and they're always changing and evolving. And all the documentation is, over the years, we've seen a car deal get thicker and thicker, more like buying a house. So Harrison, I'm sure you'd agree that it's very valuable to have some at least basic contract law type knowledge.
Yes, working with it day to day, you kind of understand it, but once they open it up a little bit more of why every little procedure and process is there, it makes a lot more sense.
I can see that you two are thriving. But before we let Mark close with some comments related to another program that Chariot's been working on, I'd like, William, for you to just give us a quick pitch to your fellow team members of, again, why they would consider in their own career development becoming part of this program in the future.
I mean, for me, it's not only helped me grow as an individual, but it's helped me help the parts department and the business grow, both with sales and experience in advertisements. I mean, it's not taking up too much time. It's allowed me to still live my personal life at home, still get my work done here at the job, and it's allowed me to grow.
Awesome. And Harrison, the same for you, as you're leading a lot of salespeople here on our Twin City team in Lafayette. It's got to be exciting for you to also say, you know what, I need to keep challenging myself to grow, even as I challenge the people under my leadership.
Correct. So the nice thing is the company backs you up in every way, shape, or form. So not only do they handle the school process for you, but they do it on their time. I mean, really, what more can you ask for? I mean, usually all the things that people have the complaints about of, oh, I don't have enough time in my day. I don't have enough money to cover the classes. I don't have, too busy in my life. I mean, they take all that away and you're able to just show up to school and focus on school. And once you're done, ta-da, you're at work already.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I thank both of you guys, and Mark, of course. And Mark, before we...
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, Harrison made a key point. The company is paying for the tuition. And as far as I know right now, you haven't had to purchase any books as well. Is that correct to use?
Correct.
Right. So it's basically a no cost opportunity for anyone that wants to get involved in it. And I mean, that just makes it so much more attractive when you can get into the program without having to worry about having the financial means to cover the cost of it. And there's no contract involved. And that was something that we talked about to great length. When we were first introducing this, it was, well, if we're going to make this investment, are we going to require people to stay for a certain period of time? Or if they happen for some reason to drop out, are they going to have to pay the program back? And the decision that came from Rex from the very beginning is, I'm doing this to help people, and I'm not asking for anything in return. So if somebody gets into the program and they can't finish it, or for some other reason they can't finish the program, there's no strings, there's no hooks attached to this. We just move on. And that's a wonderful opportunity. And it's a wonderful thing to know going into this program, that you have that kind of flexibility.
That is fantastic. I'm glad you brought that up. And Mark, before we let you guys go, there's another apprenticeship program that I want you to take a minute and share a little about that Chariot has going as well. It'd be a good time we touched on it a few months ago on this show with Don Frick, our VP of Fixed Ops, but maybe give us another little dive into our apprenticeship program before we close.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was based on the success of this program that we decided that that maybe we should be looking to do something with a little bit more on the technical side. And so we again partnered up with Ivy Tech and the state and the federal government to be able to introduce a skilled trades technical journeyman status card, I guess, as a service technician. Very similar in probably the time that it will take to complete the apprenticeship program. If you started and you go to class continually through the program, it's a 3-year commitment. But at the end of the 3 years, or approximately 6,000 hours of training, you will end up with your journeyman status as a qualified service technician. And we have 3 apprentices in the program right now. And we're working towards another cohort of students that will start in mid-August of this year when the fall semester goes back with Ivy Tech.
Awesome. Fantastic. So a couple of great options there. William and Harrison and Mark, we're grateful that you took the time to join us. And folks can always reach out. Mark, if they have questions, team members or those that would be prospective team members that want to join our automotive group, what's a good email address to reach you at?
Just mark.mclean@chariotautogroup.com.
Okay, great job, guys. I appreciate you coming on for this month's Chariot Automotive Group podcast, and William and Harrison, continued success in this program and this partnership with Ivy Tech. And Mark, thanks for you and Rex, your leadership to get this off the ground. And I'm sure a lot of our team members are going to continue to benefit in the months and years ahead. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Have a great day, guys. And folks, thank you for watching this and listening to it. We'll be back again next month with another Chariot Automotive Group podcast. Have a great day.
Wonderful.